Welcome to another episode of Rectec Reels. I'm Henna, Commercial Success Manager here at Rectec, and joining me today is Natasha from Vibright Consulting, and we're going to be talking all things recruitment and candidate experience. So, Natasha, if you're happy to introduce yourself.
Hi. So I'm Natasha Neller, and I am the founder of Vibright. We are a specialist HR recruitment consultancy supporting HR talent in the senior space across the UK and Germany. Hi.
Amazing. Thanks so much for joining me today. First question that I have for you, Natasha, is obviously you're an expert in this field. You're speaking to recruitment. Obviously you're in recruitment and you're speaking to recruiters and basically all HR professionals all day, every day. So it's safe to say you know a lot about the industry. What would you say some of the biggest difficulties that I suppose recruiters are facing as a whole right now?
There's a few. There's always challenges. I would say at the moment there's a lot of people on the market. There's a lot of talent out there, which is great and absolutely comes with its pros. I guess the challenge with that is trying to make sure that you find the top talent within that space. So yes, there's lots of people out there, and unfortunately, it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody out there looking for work at the moment is probably is necessarily the best talent. So from a recruitment perspective, trying to sift through that talent can be tough. I mean, for example, I put an application on, I can get sort of 250 applications, and then trying to make sure I go back to all those individuals and giving them the best experience possible is something I pride myself on, but it's really, really tough. And expectations as well, clients assuming, well, there's lots of people out there. And I think I'm definitely finding that clients want more for their money as well in terms of the talent they can get, and are kind of pushing everybody down, which is a challenge, which will actually come back in 2024 and probably bite the clients a little bit in the bottom, because those people that have maybe taken on a lower salary will probably want more money in the future. So there's a few challenges around that side. I'd probably say one of the biggest challenges across our whole sector, though, is more of an internally faced issue, in the sense that actually for the last 10 years, it's been very job rich in most or the majority of recruitment markets. We've got 10 years worth of recruitment consultants that have been really successful off the back of all of these lovely jobs that are there. And they haven't necessarily had to focus on building relationships because there's been so many jobs. So they were able to find candidates jobs and send the candidates over, and it was all, yay, there you go, whack them over, they've got a job, way, hey. And there was not necessarily a need to build relationships with candidates or clients. The majority of the time, that's not to say everyone's that way, but I feel like now the market has turned. There's a lot of people speaking about the recruitment industry at the moment and saying that, I'm not hearing back, I'm not getting the service that I expect or what I'd expect to see. There's no relationship there. Candidates very much being treated like a commodity. I'm speaking to people that have been, interim career contractors for 30 years that have never been treated in the way that they're being treated at the moment by recruiters. Right. And I've just said to them, I think we're in a market where there's a lot of recruiters that aren't necessarily skilled and haven't had to be skilled in the art of building relationships and being proactive in the way in which they treat people or how they build their business. So for me, that's the biggest challenge at the moment, is actually skilling our industry itself to be better, and to deliver a better service and just be a better industry. That seems to be the theme for me at the moment.
Yeah, and it's a theme that I think I've also been spotting as well. Obviously, I'm not actively recruiting anymore, but I speak to a lot of you guys on a daily basis, and it's really difficult because, exactly as you said, it's just been such a shift in the type of market that we've been working in. And while it's a hot, I suppose, buzzword or topic to talk about there being a skill shortage, there also is in our industry, and there's a reason that we don't have the best reputation. That also falls back on us. So with that in mind, how can you make sure that you are giving your candidates the best possible experience?
Yeah, and this is what I'm essentially building my business on at the moment, is this idea that I will deliver a different experience, but that different experience is not rocket science. I'm literally just having conversations with other humans, and if I say I'm going to do it, then I do it, and if I don't do it, then I apologize. For example, I'm going to call you back at the end of the week. I don't, I end up calling back the following week. I just acknowledge that that's what's happened. So for me, it's just, if you say you're going to do something, follow through and actually do it. I'm a stickler for tasks. So although I'm a founder, although it's just me, although I've just started, I do already have a CRM because I have a million tasks. Without tasks, I wouldn't actually remember to do half the things I need to do anyway. So if you know you're rubbish at remembering stuff, use tools. I've got hundreds of tasks because I've got hundreds of candidates to go back to. So for me, it's do what you say you're going to do, but also just be real. So here at Vibright, my values are be real, be present, and be consistent. And that's what I try to fulfill. So, if I'm having a conversation with a candidate about a role and I have some concerns over their CV, I tell them, this is the reason why they may not want to see you, and then we can delve into that a bit more. And maybe we can try and resolve that. Or actually, I still agree that we should send them over, but let's see what happens, And then when I go back, because I do go back and let them know, it's not a surprise. I've already managed expectations. We've already had that conversation. For me, anything that might be deemed as a difficult conversation or an uncomfortable conversation is normally a crucial conversation. And our job is to partner with people to support them and work with them together to get them a job. If you're not being truly open about it, then you aren't really partnering with them, in my opinion. So managing expectations, do what you say you do, and if you don't do it, apologize. So for me, I guess they're kind of the three things. If I other than when I grow my business, they're the things I would expect for anyone working within my brand.
Yeah, for sure. And you made a really good point there about utilizing tasks and tools and things like that. That's not cheating. It doesn't affect your integrity or anything like that. It's very much just helping you stay organized. And I think people don't exercise that as much as perhaps they should. And also maybe they're not using a tool that has that functionality, in which case do they need to reassess their tech stack. So yeah, really, really good point there. Thank you. So the final question I have for you then, to wrap things up, is what advice would you give any recruiters that might be struggling to find the best candidates?
So the reality is most recruiters have access to the same tools. How they choose to invest their money obviously may differ, but the reality is everyone's got LinkedIn. People have got job boards. For me, the thing that will differentiate you, give you access to talent that maybe other people don't have, is referrals. And there's a number of reasons why I push on referrals, is because referrals are also a test of commitment. So if I've had a really great interaction with a candidate, if they're happy to provide someone else's details, for me, that demonstrates that they've been happy with the level of service that I've also provided. So it's a nice, I guess, acknowledgement that actually it validates the work that I've already put in with that individual as well. What I would recommend is some people will shy away from referrals maybe for the same level. The reason for that is it may be deemed as, maybe they might think, oh, it's someone else that's competition against me in terms of getting a job if you're talking to them directly about a position. So my recommendation would always be to push for referrals either above or below. So for me, for example, if I'm working with a head of HR, I might ask them and say, look, I'm also working on a chief people officer. It's a senior role, it's more senior than yourself. Who's the best chief people officer you've ever worked with that you would recommend me giving them a call? And for me, it's a really nice in with that senior candidate. But again, it's testament to knowing that I've done a good job. And again, recommendation down. So hello, head of HR. I'm also working on a HR business partner role. It's too junior for you, but who's the best HR business partner you've ever worked with? So referrals and up or down is a nice way of going.
Yeah, and I think referrals is something that, shall I say, are actually gold dust, and it's often something that's put on the back burner, isn't it? So really good point there. Thank you so much for joining me today, Natasha. You've been great. And if you are in the market for a new applicant tracking system or CRM, then do take advantage of our unique fee-free comparison tool, Rectec Compare. Or if you're looking to build out your tech stack and look at some complementary tech that could potentially help you be more efficient, then do check out our marketplace at rectec.io. Thanks so much, Natasha, and I'll speak to you soon.
Bye.